Welcome to Your Thoughts, Your Reality with Michael Cole, the podcast that shines a compassionate light on the journey of veterans battling through life's challenges. Michael is a dual elite certified neuroencoding specialist in coaching and keynote training presentations, dedicated to guiding military veterans as they navigate the intricate pathways of post-deployment life. Join him as we delve into the profound realm of neuroencoding science, empowering these brave individuals to conquer universal battles, procrastination, self-doubt, fear, and more. Together, let's uncover the strength within you to re-engage with families and society, forging a new path forward.
Hello, everybody. So today I have a friend and a colleague. I am super excited. All the way from Belgium, I have Lucia Montanaro, and she's going to bring some gold today. So super excited to have her on. So a little bit about Lucia. She's leadership and transformational coach with decades of experience across the globe. When I say across the globe, I literally mean across the globe. 65 countries she's worked in, and passionate about contributing to a better world by helping people, which is amazing. She speaks 5 languages. Obviously, 65 countries need to speak some languages. She has extensive experience working on conflict prevention, mediation, and peace building in conflict-affected countries, collaborating with security and armed forces. So, no joke, obviously. So, Lucia, man, so happy to have you. Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Thank you, Michael. I'm very grateful to be here and to have this conversation with you and your audience. So I'm, based in Belgium. I'm half Italian, half Swedish, born in England. So that's already 3 languages without making any effort. And on a professional side, I'm a trainer, presenter, and coach. I work on kind of international, institutional, and corporate level and with individuals. And on the personal side, I have a beloved partner and 2 sons and 1 stepson and lots of pets.
Well, I need to hear about the pets. Before we get into this, what do you got?
Well, it's horse, cats, dogs, turtles, etc.
Awesome. That's fantastic. We'll talk more about the turtles, I'm sure. But until then, let's get into some leadership stuff that help veterans and their families. Before we do get started, I just want to mention on the top right-hand corner, you have a blue QR code. Please scan that or go to, if you're listening later on podcast forums, empowerperformancestrategies.com. Again, empowerperformancestrategies.com. I have lots of resources, 2 books I've written that are free. We have Facebook groups for veterans and their families to join and be part of a community and so on. So, please get involved and please join that. So should we dive in?
Definitely. Let's rock and roll.
All right. So first of all, if we can you tell us a little bit more about your story and how you got into the coaching and self-improvement realm, if you will?
So I think it's a combination of things in the sense that on one hand, as you mentioned, I traveled a lot. I've been working in many different countries, and that can throw in all sorts of challenges also, between your personal life and your professional life. And many people can have conflicts either in their working environments or in their personal lives.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was definitely my case, and a situation where feeling kind of isolated and not understood, and those tensions and lack of ideal communication, etc., and just feeling very frustrated. And I seeked help, and I seeked help from a coach, and I learned how blaming others and being in a victimhood makes you very passive. Whereas when you take the reins of your life and you become the captain of your ship, and you focus on what you can control, then you start managing to shift things. So it's about kind of putting that, in the SEALs talk about, the Navy SEALs talk about extreme ownership. I personally, as a civilian, talk about radical responsibility, but basically we're talking about the same thing.
Right.
Is you take the power when you want to shift something in your life, in the experiences of your life, you want different results. Well, you have to start by yourself. You have to start, you have to turn the mirror on yourself. And what are your thoughts? What are your emotions? What's your energy? What are your actions that you're taking? And that will have a ripple effect and impact the experiences that I'm unfolding.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how to take back control and have leadership within, which will change your reality.
I love that. So when you say your thoughts are your reality, is that what you're kind of saying there? Just a little play off, little plug. No,
Yeah,
honestly, fantastic information. So, and it's something that I found as well is if you're sitting there blaming everybody else, not taking responsibility for things in your life, you're never going to change. You're never going to grow. You're really stifling becoming that next person, that next level, if you will.
yeah.
So great point. I love that. I really do. So, I almost forgot something. Lucia, and that would have been a shame. You're a recent graduate with the Neuroencoding Institute, are you not?
Yay! And and on my journey to the next level, I am indeed. And it's an incredible community and such powerful tools and strategies to help people default to their best version. So very glad to be on your fantastic podcast of your thoughts and your reality, because as a fellow neuroencoder, and contributing to helping others.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just wanted to stop and just congratulate you. It's
Thank you.
such a cool thing. It's such an amazing family and it's changed my life. And that's where we originally met. Just
Indeed.
wanted to just take a second and just give you that.
Thank you.
So congratulations again. So how can veterans harness the principles of radical responsibility, kind of going right into what you're talking about, taking responsibility, and self-regulation to navigate the transition from military life to civilian life more effectively?
I think I mean, I think it's on one hand it's about one, accountability,
Mhm.
and kind of and how and basically understanding that what goes on inside, like your if you imagine the weather, you look at the weather forecast. Well, here you're going to look at the weather forecast that you have going on inside. Well, if
I like
it's
that.
stormy and dark and cloudy and whatever, well, that's what you're going to attract. If you create an internal sunshine, then people will react to that, and you will contribute to that more external sunshine also unfolding in your life. So there is, just like the name of your podcast, I mean, there is a correlation between your thoughts and the reality that's unfolding. And so, the easiest way is, when you have a thought that is bringing you down a rabbit hole, what could you think instead
Mm,
that would make you feel better? And what can you do instead to shift that emotion? And so, it's remembering the little poem of, as you think, so you feel, as you feel, so you do, and as you do, so you will have. And so, I mean, it's about, those little habits that you can have, that you can establish in your life, those little steps that can help you, can support you to be in a more conducive environment.
mm.
So, what are those meditations? What are those exercises that you can do that you personally make you feel better to start your day off well? It's
Yeah.
like getting out of the bed with the right foot that kind of makes you want to jump and dance rather than feeling heavy.
Absolutely. And, our mentor, Joseph McClendon, you said get out of bed, and that just brought to my attention. When you get out of bed, just put a big old smile on your face and just creep out, just, yeah, I'm going to do some cool stuff today. And then jump up and dance. And it changes your physiology. It sends all kinds of hormones and things throughout your body, and really can change your entire day. And if you do it every day, your life.
Indeed, and it's a hack because it's been scientifically proven and chemically proven that that smiling and that posture, etc., releases the chemicals of serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin, and so you end up feeling better.
Absolutely.
And then if you're smiling to other people, you smile to someone on the street, they'll smile back to you. You look them in the eye and properly connect to the people around you.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And I got to share something really quick personally. So
Sure.
when I'm just going, oh man, I don't want to get out of bed today. I just like to sleep for 10 more minutes, right? I'll actually do that and do that big old smile, and I start laughing at myself, literally, and I just jump out of bed, and like the day is totally cool then. It's like I'm glad I just got up instead of just sat there thinking about my day. So the great tools. So self-awareness, since we were kind of talking about that. Can you share some strategies for increasing self-awareness that veterans can use to better understand and manage their emotions during that transition period?
So both about one's own self-awareness, Zach, I consider that both leadership of others and starts with leadership of oneself.
Love that.
And so in order to be a better leader, whether that's in your family, in your community, at your work or whatever, and requires that self-regulation.
Mm,
And so one simple way is checking in with yourself of, okay, on a scale from 0 to 100, how are you feeling in your energy, in your emotions today, and how is your partner or your colleague, etc., feeling, and getting, the first step is awareness, kind of acknowledging where you are, and then thinking of a few steps of what could you do to get it to a little bit higher. Not, if you're at 40%, it's not about getting to 100, but it's just getting one step further. So is that advancing on a goal? Is that spending time with your dog? Is that going for a walk? Just taking those steps. So both the awareness on it, and then taking a step towards bringing it one step further.
I love that. So, I love it, what you said. So play with your turtle is what you're saying. 10% difference is a much better day than being at 40%. And I'd also like to add, if I can, is share that with your partner or your family. If you guys know where you are, the conflict that arises usually because somebody's grumpy or they're playing at a 20%, the other one's at an 80%. Woohoo! If you share that and communicate that with your partners, your family for that matter, your kids even, it's a great skill to share that, and that way everybody can know where everybody is and help pick up the slack. I'm at a 20, or my wife's at a 20 and I'm at an 80. Well, maybe I'm making dinner that night. you know there's lots of ways to kind of help, and so on. So I love that you bring that percentages up and so on. Fantastic. um Empathy and leadership. So how does empathy play a role in leadership, especially for veterans, again, adjusting to new roles in civilian life? For instance, they're coming back from the military, whether that be male or female, it works both ways, and they're really coming back, and they're not themselves. Everybody knows when military service ends, everybody's grown, everybody's in a different place. So how does empathy kind of play a role in that adjusting, if you will, and or I'm big on communication with the family. How do you see that?
Well, I think empathy is an absolute cornerstone in both leadership,
Mm,
in communication, in several things. And veterans have a unique experience from their missions of strength, but also of adapting to change.
yes.
And so, it's harnessing that and those strengths, and that in civilian life, transitioning to civilian life requires navigating change and understanding different perspectives.
Love it.
Um, and so I think empathy allows us to connect to people, whether it's your family or in a professional environment. So I think the first step would be, I think it always starts with oneself. So first step is kind of reflecting, a self-reflection and a kindness to oneself.
Mm,
Like when you go on a plane, before helping a child, you need to take the oxygen for yourself.
absolutely.
And if your cup is so low, it's very difficult to give to others. So kind of understanding your own emotions and maybe being able to be vulnerable and share that to help others understand where you're at.
Yeah.
So basically, I'm saying it starts with empathy, awareness and empathy towards yourself. And then the second step is active listening. I mean, so many people want to, in a conversation, when one person is speaking, they're they're reflecting on how to respond
Yes.
rather than truly connecting, truly allowing for that space and the pauses for them to listen and take in what they're saying, so that that person feels seen and heard. Um, and so really deeply listening and focusing on building that relationship, because it's not, people can have different models of the world, different perspectives
Mm,
and different needs, and focusing on what you want in that relationship, whether it's professional or personal, and building that relationship, and then learning from each other. So I think by veterans focusing on empathy, it will help them navigate, as an approach to life, both personal and professional. It'll help them navigate those transitions.
love that. Love that. And we all have different models of the world, right? So
Definitely.
if I can just add on the fantastic information you just gave us, it's okay to ask questions to find out where someone else is in their model of the world.
Yep.
How does that look to you? How does that feel to you, etc. So I think that's fantastic information, Lucia. Thank you. So let's jump right into communication since we're there. I love the information you're giving us and the thought process and everything. Just fantastic stuff. What are some key communication techniques that veterans can use to improve their interactions with family, friends, and potential employers, especially coming out of the transition period? And I also want to address this the other way as with the family's communication as well.
I would suggest two tools, two approaches. One, I'm not good at maths. I mean, we all have our different skills, but I'm not good at maths. But I'll give an equation. Um,
Are we going to check the equation, or are we okay? Like,
so basically, we all have desires of how we want outcomes to come, but sometimes we get triggered by different things, and so basically the equation to remember, maybe the audience listening can write down this equation.
great.
um
Yes,
I
please.
invite is the letter E plus R equals O. Can you guess what that means?
No, I just wrote it down. I'm waiting for the answer.
So it means event. E stands for event. So whatever event in your professional or your personal environment, something happens that could trigger you, or, whether it's good or bad, an event happens. And then R stands for the fact that you have the choice to either react or respond conscientiously and mindfully in thinking about the outcome that you want. And so it's not the event that creates the outcome. It's how you experience it and how you respond to it, the meaning you give to it and how you respond to it. And so you have the power in that moment to reach another outcome. It's this thing of and the other element is a for those of you and your audience, if you've ever heard of nonviolent communication, by Marshall Rosenberg. So it's about a 4-step process of you observe, you express your feelings, you express your needs, and then you express your requests. So let me give you an example.
Please, that'd be fantastic.
My sons are adults now, but let's say they were, small kids. And small kids can have tempers sometimes. So let's say one of my sons slams the door in my face. Okay.
Yes.
I can and is angry because I said no about something. I can, in that moment, get triggered and find it shocking behavior and start screaming and whatever. But then I'm going to be out of control in my self-regulation. He's going to get upset, and we're both going to be in a bad place. Whereas in that situation, it would be you first state a fact. Okay, when you slam the door, when you suddenly slam the door, and that's the observation. So it can't be subjective. It has to be a fact. So you can't put a judgment on it.
Yep, black and white. Yep.
It made me feel rejected, sad, whatever. You express your emotions. Then you go on to your needs. What I need is to feel connected to you, that we have a respectful, open dialogue. And then what I would like is that, so the fourth one is your request, is what I would like. And can we agree that when we're angry with each other, that, we take a moment to calm down, and then, within the hour, we come back and have a conversation about it. So 4-step process: observation, feeling, needs, and requests. It really helps to handle any kind of conflict, because conflicts are natural.
Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. Love that. So would you do that immediately, or would you take a couple of breaths, do a stop technique, and then
the stop technique is always fantastic, but I'm sure, why don't you share it?
You know what? I do it differently. So basically, I do I invented my own thing. So I'm going to go stop technique. Basically, stop technique is a way of training yourself to get out of stress, anxiety, all of those things, quickly. So really, you're sitting. You think of an unresourceful state. You think of something that creates anxiety, etc. You jump up. You yell stop. You smile. You celebrate, and then you sit back down. And you do this over and over again, faster and faster. Generally, it's about a cycle of 10. And it trains your brain and conditions your brain to be able to remove yourself from that anxiety quicker. or faster. So I do something a little bit different where I teach my clients how to do it right when I have them do that, but I also have them do one where they literally can take themselves out of it in the moment. And that is generally it's when something's happening to you, you take it in for a second, you look up, you smile, and when you feel yourself, you change your physiology, put your shoulders back, breathe. I'm sorry, and then when they feel that release, and you literally will feel the endorphins and all the good chemicals release from your brain, you celebrate it. And I teach my clients to celebrate it a different way, because if you're in public and do this, and you're dancing around and you have attitude, as everybody knows on the show by now, and you're patting yourself on the back and doing all these things, it changes it. People start looking at you funny. They call people. So I teach my clients to condition themselves over time to pat themselves on the chest and smile, to squeeze their fist and smile, and so that they can literally do it in public at any time. So that's how I do the stop technique. So so that's when I said do the stop technique or whatever. But if you take a break, do you suggest taking that break or trying to deal with it if you're triggered? When your son opens the door in your face.
I do suggest taking a break. And whether it's, if if you've been practicing the stop technique, that's a fantastic way to do it in that moment. If not, or if your 5-year-old son hasn't yet learned the stop technique, then just, a moment to breathe, to be able, and then to reconnect, to be able to have that conversation, so that we can actually hear each other.
Yeah, because if walls are up, no one's hearing each other anyway, right? So
Yeah.
fantastic. Thank you for that. So I want to go to global perspective if we can, because 65 countries. I've not had a lot of guests on here with that kind of experience. So having worked in 65 countries, what unique insights can you share about the different ways cultures handle conflict and transition, and how can these insights be applied to our veterans and families?
Effectively, I mean, it's been a privilege to work in so many different countries and cultures, whether, whether in the Americas or in the Middle East, in Africa, in Asia, in Europe, or all across the globe. And there are similarities and there are differences. I mean, it's on one hand culture and references, but then you have different personalities and approaches as well. I would break it up into 5 different approaches. I mean, one is handling conflict and transitions from a perspective that is much more normative and legalistic and structured and linear and hierarchical, and this is the right way. I'm
Right.
convinced of that. Okay, that's the first way. Another way would be more flexible and kind of variable geometry, where basically you adapt to what the circumstance needs, because you're solution orientated, and so if something blocks, then you try something else, and etc. Okay.
Right.
And I've seen that quite a lot in Asia, actually. And then you have an approach to conflict which is dominant, oppressive, manipulative, and basically I'll squash you, and when you're weak, we can start to discuss. And then you have an approach which is a win-win approach, and trying to see, there can be a common ground where everyone's interests are can be catered for, and lastly is one where basically based on the ethics of care. So where you focus on kind of that psychological safety, and well-being and caring about the person. So creating that balance between, let's say, the pillar of well-being, equity, justice, fairness, where you're looking not for a short win, but a long-term solution. And you balance that with the needs of productivity, innovation, creation, etc. Shareholder interests, etc. But so you need the foundations of whether you're in civilian life, in your personal or professional. At the end of the day, we're not robots, and we work, and we're busy, but connecting to to the well-being as a human being, not as a robot. And that enables everything else to flourish.
Excellent. So all those different perspectives, it comes back to yourself, inside yourself, huh?
Indeed.
Pretty cool. Awesome. So we are out of time, Lucia. It's been such a pleasure speaking with you, and just we didn't get to turtles, but we will next time. It's been fantastic. So anybody that wants to reach out, how do people reach out to you?
So you can either reach out to me via LinkedIn, or my revised website will be up soon in luciamontanaro.com. But in the meantime, maybe the easiest way to reach out to me is directly via email. So lucia.montanaro.coaching@gmail.com, and happy to answer any of your requests. And I mean, simply, if I can say a last few words, is that remember that your journey is a testament of your own resilience and strength and adaptability. So you have already gone through tremendous challenges, and now this is simply a different chapter of your life and another opportunity to grow, to thrive, to serve and impact positively. So have that confidence that you can have that fulfilling and impactful civilian life, and simply seek help from who you need in your community when you need it, and remember your self-awareness to be the best version of yourself.
I absolutely love that. Thank you so much. So I normally ask for 3 tips at the end. I think you just gave 3 tips. So do you have 3 more tips? You want to go with that one?
Sure. I mean, I would, maybe to clarify, I mean, I talked about the equation of E plus R equals O. I would say, focus on gratitude rather than expectations. I would say, choose. It's a daily choice to choose to be the best version of yourself. Love and that. Be patient and empathetic with yourself, that that there are different chapters in your life, and they all are valuable and are part of your life journey. And so choose to be the best version of yourself and dare to ask for help. Sorry, that was 4, but
let's go ahead. You all got 3 more?
I'll stop that.
Lucia, as always, I always like to say that as humans, time is the most precious resource we have. We do not get it back. Thank you so much for spending the 35-ish plus minutes with us. It's been an absolute pleasure. Lots of golden nuggets, and truly honored, my friend.
A huge pleasure for me too, and happy to help. And all the best of luck for all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. We are out of here.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on another insightful journey of Your Thoughts, Your Reality podcast with your host, Michael Cole. We hope the conversation sparked some thoughts that resonate with you. To dive deeper into empowering your thoughts and enhancing your reality, visit empowerperformancestrategies.com. Remember, your thoughts shape your reality, so make them count. Until next time, stay inspired and keep creating the reality you desire. Catch you on the next episode.